Hello everyone and welcome to another FeedArmy video. In this video we will be talking again about the basics of Google Shopping. A year ago I've created the video, but now because the landscape and also the policies change, the video is a little bit out of date. So I thought let's create a new video describing the basics of Google Shopping. I will be covering 4 topics. The pre-checklist, which is this video. I will talk about a little bit of things that you need to be aware of before you start. We will be talking about the website, the data feed, and also the AdWords account setup of your campaigns. All links will be shown on the screen here and also in the description below. So let's start with the pre-checklist. I recommend that everybody reads the policy of Google because there are a lot of little details that might or might not be related to your products or your business model. And it is important that you know what you're doing before you commence listing your products on Google Shopping, because even making the smallest mistake can result in a suspension in your account, and that's what we want to avoid. Second is that you need to make sure that you do not use keywords in your title, description, or your landing page related to pharmaceuticals, sexual connotation, or weapons, because all of these are automatically detected by Google and will result in your data feed or your account to be suspended. Now, let's say you are a pharmaceutical company. You can list pharmaceutical keywords as long as you have all the right certificates, which you have to view in your policy to check which certificates you need. For merchants that do not have certificates for pharmaceutical licensing, then you need to make sure that these types of keywords are not used in any of the description for your title and description in the data feed and also on your landing page. So what you also need to be aware of is that when you want to submit to multiple countries, you need to make sure that the data feed and the landing page is for the native language, and the currency is also for the target country. Let's say my original data feed is UK, so my data feed is in English with the English grammar, and also the prices are in UK pounds. Now let's say I want to target the US. You can do that by having a new data feed and have the language and the pricing all accurately described for that target country. The links to the pages need to be in the US, meaning that the currency need to be US and not UK pounds. Same can be done with France, but then in that case you need to make sure that the language is in French and not in English. There is a new feature in Google Merchant that you can use currency conversion, which means that you can target a specified small list of target countries without affecting or changing your landing page or data feed. Now, it's not as effective as having a dedicated data feed because the impressions will be a lot lower due to the fact that when you submit currency conversion data, then the price will be in your native price and also in the local target country price. And this might put off the customer because actually you might be the customer might be interested in buying the product from the target country rather than a different country, because they might know, like, okay, the delivery is going to take a lot longer, and people nowadays don't really have the patience. So I do recommend having a dedicated data feed so that it at least gives the illusion that it is from the country itself and not using currency conversion. So for example, you can use currency conversion for the UK and target 4 other countries, which is Australia, the US, Canada and Switzerland. But you know, it's not as effective. I've done a little test and it's not proven to work at the moment, but that can change in the future. So as Google Shopping changes constantly, don't take this for my word and do a test, because it's very easy to do. You simply need to enable it in Google Merchant and you can change it. For checking data feed related issues, go to Google Merchant itself and not use the data in Google AdWords. Because in Google AdWords you can actually find under accounts or linked accounts a Google Merchant setup, which you can see a lot of basic stuff, but you do have to go to Google Merchant itself, which is a completely different user interface where all the issues related to the data feed or any information is located there. For example, if you want to change the schedule, the date, the time that when the data feed is imported, you can do that in Google Merchant, but you cannot do that in Google AdWords. So keep AdWords for your advertising related stuff, keep Google Merchant for your data feed related stuff. Another thing that merchants, especially new merchants that do not do much website related stuff, do not take into consideration that the product ID submitted in the data feed should be the same as in the website. Let's say, for example, WordPress uses the ID of the post. You need to make sure that it's the same in the AdWords account, because what you want to do is set up a remarketing list with the same information. So let's say I am a customer, I visit your website and I see a beautiful t-shirt, let's say this one. It's priced at $19.95 and has a particular ID, let's say flower. I know it's not a flower, it's a moose or whatever it is, but I forgot. So you need to make sure that the ID flower is both in the remarketing and in the data feed. So if the customer do not buy from your website and you tend to go, for example, away to another third-party website where your remarketing list is displayed as the shopping list, then the same product will be displayed. However, if the ID is not the same, then the products that are listed on the third-party website will be completely different or might not work as well as anticipated. So making sure that the ID in the data feed and the remarketing list, which is the Google code that you can add to your website, needs to be identical. You can, however, if it's not really possible, use a display add additional IDs, which means that you can list those alternative IDs and also similar IDs in there, which is a setup you can do for data feeds. However, this is only available for XML. So you can't, for example, if you use Google Spreadsheets, that feature is not available. Google is pushing hard for listing all types of variants. So let's say, again, t-shirts or any apparel product or tie, anything that's regarded to be apparel, Google is pushing hard for very defined search results. What it's doing is adding filters in the left column where you can see the sizes, the colors, or even types of dresses, like different, like mini skirt, long skirt, cocktail dresses, all that kind of stuff. And if you do not list your variants, as in all the colors and all the sizes, the likelihood of your products being listed in these types of filters or categories is gonna be very low or none at all. So listing your variants with the appropriate sizes and colors and etc. is very, very important. List the colors and sizes in the title. It's not really required, but definitely list them in the attributes for color, gender, and age group and all that kind of things. So what you need to make sure of is that that's added so that you have the most amount of impressions. Google is also pushing hard for image search results to list Google Shopping products. Now, as you know, it's visible in the web search, a couple in the right corner or at the top. You can also see it in the shopping marketplace. You get a full-fledged 30 products per page kind of thing. But also slowly integrated are the image search results with Google Shopping products. And there are also a lot more other attributes that are visible. So for example, YouTube, with TrueView, you can see the products showing up just underneath the video within the US, but it's also going to be available in other countries. So it's very important that you use everything as much as possible, use all your knowledge, or watch these videos, get your data feed set up as good as possible, because it's extremely important. The data feed is the foundation of your advertising effort. If you do not properly set up your data feed and ensure that the titles and all the attributes are 100% correct, then the effects in AdWords and advertising is not going to be as effective. It can be quite costly, and it can be maybe not working at all. You might get a lot of impressions but no sales, or vice versa. So it's important that the data feed is set up. So check out the next video, which is the website related issues, not issues, but things that you need to be aware of. And then we will be talking about the data feed, and the last video will be about AdWords setups. So thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.